actors.
Hi, I'm Casey, your acting and audition coach.
And I'm Donna-Marie, your mindset and visualization coach here at Screen Acting School. We help actors go from absolute beginners to booking leads in the #1 shows in the world and walking the red carpets at the Emmys, Golden Globes, even the Oscars.
And today we're going to teach you how to go from audition to A-list with proven practice and real goals that work.
That's right. But first, we'll tell you what doesn't work, okay? And it may surprise you. Most actors practice their craft and rely on luck. Some only do it when the spirit moves them.
And some actors show up in class all the time, but they don't do much work outside of class. These actors like to talk about how hard it is and how desperate they are for success.
Yeah, and some actors are determined and dedicated. They have a plan, they have a story they want to tell with their lives, and they follow that plan no matter what's going on in their lives.
Yeah, and some people just want to be a successful actor, and that makes sense, right? That means they take whatever audition that comes their way and they work like hell to create a castable audition. It sounds like dedication. It sounds like a plan, right? It's the plan most actors follow, but it's not a real plan. It's not even a real goal. It's nebulous. Successful actor, what is that? It's hard to take action toward being successful other than just working hard.
Yeah, but hard work isn't the answer. It's only part of the answer. And often what's happening is you're working hard at the wrong thing. So you're developing skills that don't apply and learning how to do them really well.
So I bet you want a for example for that. For example, you're in a scene study class and you're learning to develop a private moment. Has anybody done that? It's a great skill. A private moment is richly, what it is essentially is you are working by yourself to have a richly emotional experience. And that creates emotion in the audience. And it's beautiful. It's a wonderful exercise and it feels really good. So, because it feels good and everyone in class thinks you're amazing, you put it in your audition so casting can see how deeply connected you are.
Yeah, but auditions work.
That's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because auditions work best when you show your character in the first 5 to 10 seconds, right? We know this.
But actually, you don't. Most actors don't know that. So the silent moment that you add to your work is actually working against you because you don't know it. So you just keep, you don't know what's not working. So you just keep practicing that moment that was really good in class to make it better and refining it. And then you get really, really good at it. And you still don't book because you're practicing the wrong thing.
Yeah, and this is just an example, of course, because not every actor is practicing that particular wrong thing. There are many decisions that actors make because they think they're right and they're just not.
No.
So, for example, when they're starting out, many actors wait for tape from a student film, right, to submit to an agent. Well, we can tell you that you may wait a very long time for that student film tape, maybe forever. The student filmmakers might quit school and it never gets finished, or maybe the tape just sucks.
Mm-hmm. And that does happen.
Yeah.
So when you're new, and I hear this a lot, so does Donna-Marie, you don't know that you don't have to wait. Agents want to see you audition. They want to see the fullness and beauty of who you are, the truth of you. And you don't need a student film to show that. You just need something truthful. So you can do that in a reel of 3 30-second scenes that showcase who you are. And then you send it to an agent and they can see, oh, you can audition because you do it on a blue screen and you do it really well and you're professional looking. And then all of a sudden, oh, you've got an agent and they're submitting you because they know you're really good. This to me is so important. I've always been interested in what makes success happen faster for actors. And these two examples are things that actors do, and they're unknowingly working against themselves and sometimes for years.
Yeah, and then they feel helpless, right? Stupid even, and they're working hard, but they're getting nowhere, just spinning their wheels. So most of the time, and this is really true, actors are wasting time waiting for other people to empower them or doing things over and over again that they really don't need to do. Okay? Another thing that we see all of the time with actors is they have 3 or 4 goals that they're working towards at once. Now, listen, try telling your GPS to take your car to 3 different locations at the same time. It's not going to work out very well for you, I promise.
Well, some of you know this, right? Because I've been doing schedules for you. So you can't do that. But what you can do is compress the time it takes to succeed by having a specific goal and knowing how to prep for that goal ahead of time. So once you know this, you don't waste time reinventing the wheel. You're already good. So you can refine your audition in different ways, which is why I started teaching archetypes in the first place, because then you know the character. And so you're ready before you get the audition. And then you just bring in your magic. That's
Yeah,
what you need to work on.
100%. And in Audition Plus, we teach you to have specific practice, right? That leads you to success in those auditions. So we teach you that you have to do the practice religiously, okay? Even when you don't have auditions or classwork, this is the way that you're going to keep yourself in tune and ready.
That's so true. And Donna-Marie, she keeps your mindset sharp so that you're confident enough to go into that audition vulnerable, like a creator. Creators are vulnerable. When I started working with actors on what it would take them to go from A-list, or not from A-list, from A-list auditions, from auditions to A-list, I started working on what their goal was and how they aligned with that goal as a human being.
Yeah. So if you want to be a working actor, you practice towards that, right? So you look at what characters look like you and you practice those kinds of roles. Play into typecasting, you guys. Make it easy for production to see you as the go-to actor for a certain type of character.
Yeah, I have a client who's now a longtime friend, known him since the 90s. And his name is Ryan Robbins. And he is really good at those rough and tough, sort of rough around the edges kind of guys who's essentially a good guy. And he's played that character a lot. He played it on Riverdale, for example, as the uncle. He's played it in tons and tons of films and series. Go
Yeah.
for what you look like.
Yeah, 100%. So if you want to be an action hero, then you're single-minded and goal-oriented with a driving sense of justice, right? So you're going to work out. Maybe you're going to take martial arts and stunts classes. You're going to work on goal-oriented scenes and smash all of those obstacles out of your way. Yeah, your vulnerability in that case is going to be maybe around dogs and children. Your rage is channeled. You hate bullies and you love and admire hardworking, decent people.
Does anybody see Keanu Reeves and the dog that the dog that changes his life and he goes off and becomes this guy? What is it?
John
John
Wick.
Wick. Yeah, these are the vulnerabilities. Or Tom Cruise with little kids. These are the vulnerabilities. If you want to work as a dramatic actor, if Tom Cruise and action films are not your thing, then you need to work on emotional vulnerability. So when you come up against an obstacle, it's overwhelming. And you need your good friends and you need your family to help you overcome those obstacles.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's say you want to be a lead in a cop series, right? So you're going to practice and work on a sense of justice, solving difficult problems under enormous pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And there's your standard cop type, right? That you'll practice. You're quiet and determined. You may also be a hothead who flies off the handle, or even a nerd who's just determined to solve that problem. You've all seen that, right? Gosh, you might even be a joker, who has a deep vulnerability around loss. All of those are cop types. So when you know what your goal is, you can be specific.
And it works for any goal at all. For example, romantic comedies, they have a tone. Horror films have a tone. Sci-fi has a tone. And if you're a smart actor and you want to compress the time it takes to achieve your goal, you learn that. You learn the tone, the stories, the characters, and you practice towards them. And the most important thing that compresses the time it takes to be successful is understanding that the goal determines the practice.
Yeah, absolutely, Casey. And it's exactly the same if you want to go from audition to A-list, okay? There is a practice for that too. And in fact, we have a little handout for you to take with you today. Casey is going to pop that in for you now.
I'm doing it.
Let me know when you're ready. We'd like to give away gifts.
There it is.
Wonderful. So you can all go ahead and download that now, okay? This is your little freebie for the day.
Okay. It is popped in.
Wonderful.
Everybody's happy. Hopefully, everybody's got it. So, the important thing to remember is the road is never straight. You're going to audition for and play other characters. But when that dream role comes up, you're ready.
Yeah, totally, Casey. And as you can see, the best way to find success faster is to start with the goal. Okay, we can't impress this enough, but that involves you knowing and choosing a goal, right? And even that can be challenging, right? We understand that. If all you have is a desire to act, but you just want to do everything, you know, if you don't know what you want yet, please pick a goal that feels right and looks like you could play. Just start there.
Mm-hmm. And make sure it is something that it looks like you could play, because honestly, seriously, if you are 50 pounds overweight and you have no plans to exercise and eat differently, don't pick an action hero or romantic lead, because it's probably not going to work out for you. You're not Matthew McConaughey. McConaughey? Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you have to look the part.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can change it up, right? It doesn't mean it's set in stone. So you may find something else while you're on this path to that goal, but you'll be working towards something, and action begets action. So you'll find success because you're working towards something specific. Okay. So goal-oriented action creates opportunities and it makes you feel really, really good. But if you're not goal-oriented naturally, it means that, you know what? You'll have to change who you are. And the best way to start is to see yourself as the ruler of your own life. So you have a plan and you are going to carry out that plan no matter what, right? It doesn't matter how you may feel about it at any given moment. No motivation necessary. You just get up and do the work. And as we said, a plan needs a goal, and the best archetype to keep you on track and going after your goal is the ruler. I know a lot of Audition Plus clients who are here today, we've worked on the ruler archetype, and doesn't it make such a huge difference? Put your hand up if you think so. Yeah, it's huge, right? The ruler is going to help you do some work outside of acting for your career also, right? To speed up success. You're going to have to do some things before you even have the money to hire or the guts to do the work. You're going to have to be the ruler and do it anyways.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, for example, you need to get press. You need to be known. And you can't wait until you have a show that's worth talking about, because that's what most actors do. But if you book, it's worth talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do have a big show, then production is going to have a publicist for you, but you won't have any experience doing this. So you're going to be awkward and you're going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to take you more time to get used to being interviewed. But you can get good at press before you have something big to have press about. So that means you have press for small things. So, how do I do that, Casey? Well, let me tell you, I will tell you. You be your own publicist and you have a great social media presence. So, say you book a role playing an accountant. Now, that sounds like something that is really boring and you will have nothing to publicize. I'm a huge fan of accountants, which is why I use this example. But for the most part, people think, oh, what can I publicize about that? Well, that's because you're used to thinking about yourself and your work as small. And that's just BS. You think to yourself, I'm just playing a small day player role in a series. Well, no, that is not true. You are a beautiful human being who has beaten the odds and has booked a role in a series. And I just want to say that again because we know actors. You are a beautiful human being and you've booked a role in a series. You've beaten the odds. So let's look at what's going on in your beautiful life that you can connect to your goal to be a known artist. So let's say you got this role because you know what it's like to be an accountant because your mom's an accountant. Anybody have a mom who's an accountant here? Any accountants in anybody's life? It'd be really cool if you did. I would love to use this example for you. But let's say your mom's an accountant and she's a crazy accountant. She loves accounting. And she's totally into this podcast called Bean Counter. And that is a real podcast, by the way. So you're like, my mom and her nerdy friends really love Bean Counter. And they would love to watch a show that had an accountant played by an accountant's kid. So you pitch Bean Counters the idea that you and your mom come in a show to talk about your 5 minutes on screen as an accountant. They'll pick you up because it's interesting. Accountants never know actors. So that's practice at press, and that's going to start to build your audience and your confidence. And that's going to be something that you can add to your social media so people can see that you're an actor of note. And all of those other people in the world that see that, that includes production. Because producers ask casting to check actors' socials. I know some of you have experience with this. So the casting director sees you as an adorable interview with your mom on Bean Counters, and then they're inclined to tell production. And production watches the podcast and absolutely falls in love with you and probably your mom too. And now the role that they were checking you out for, you book it and you're the lead in a series because you're somebody that they know and understand. It's different than if you're just Joe actor who nobody knows.
Yeah.
You're somebody who matters.
Yeah, absolutely, Casey. And what normally happens is most actors drift, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they take random auditions, they wait for footage that never comes, and they practice things that feel good in class, but don't book jobs. And then they talk about how hard it is, how desperate they are, and how much they want success. But then there's those few, the ones who move faster, they book more, they rise quicker.
And you know why that is? Because consciously or unconsciously, however it works, they step into the ruler archetype. And the ruler is someone who doesn't wait. They're decisive. They set a goal. They create a plan. They execute daily, no matter how they feel. They don't say, I just want to be a working actor, because that's not a goal. It's luck. A real goal is specific. You want to be an action star, a rom-com lead, or a procedural detective. I love procedural detectives. So fun. And once you choose, your practice lines up. So if you want to be an action star, you're in stunt training. You're drama, then you're working on your emotional connection, your emotional vulnerability every day. If you're a comedy lead, you're in improv and you're bringing humor to every audition. So when casting gets an audition for a funny character, they think, oh, Beth and Brian are funny. We'll bring them in. The ruler keeps you on track. And this is what cuts time so that you can reach your goal. So you need clarity. You need to pick the destination that you're moving towards. You need discipline. You need to do the work, whether you're inspired or tired. You need structure. Do you see how I did a rhyme there? I did a rhyme. You need structure because you have to have a system for your week. You need classes, you need tapes, you need mentors, you need fitness, you need whatever it is that takes you towards your goal. And you need authority. You need to lead with story and archetypes in every audition so that people trust your work. And then resilience. You got to stand strong when the rejection hits, when the hours are long, and when the pressure mounts. You're
Yeah,
not there yet.
100%. And the most important thing, and hear this now, please, is to keep going. Even when you see absolutely no success, because those are the hard times, but They're also the times that build that resilience that you need to be a star. Okay. And here is the truth. You don't need motivation. You don't. You
Mhm.
need leadership. So you need to think of yourself as the CEO of your own career. The ruler archetype makes you the one in charge, not your agent, not a casting director, not luck. You. You are in charge of your career.
So what's your goal? Pick a goal, build the plan, do the work daily, whether you're inspired or not, because the dream role comes. It does come. And when it does, you won't be scrambling. You're going to be ready. And if you don't, someone else is booking your dream role. And that's the value of the ruler archetype. That's how you get from audition to A-list. And in Audition Plus, you become the actor that you can be proud of, the one that your snobby aunt is telling your friends about, and the one that casting director thinks of, oh, before they even put out the breakdown, they're like, oh my God, there's a Richard role, you know? And
Yeah.
when your agent sees a good role, you're first on the list for every opportunity.
Yeah. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Casey. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, thank you.
Now, as you can imagine, we're very selective about who we take in Audition Plus. The community is profoundly important to us because you're also wonderful. There's so many of you here today and you matter to us, right? And why is that? Well, let me tell you why community is so important.
Yes.
Because if you have 5 alcoholic friends, you're the sixth. Okay. If you have 5 dedicated actor friends, guess what? You're the sixth, okay? So we only want dedicated actors who are willing to do the work. So we've created something that we like to call the screen test to make sure that we can help you reach your goal and that you'll be a vital part of our community. So I'm going to pop that link in the chat now. And if you would like to be considered for Audition Plus, this is the only way to do it. So you can go ahead and copy and paste that now. I will pop it in. Give me a moment. There it is. So if you'd like to be considered for Audition Plus and see if you're a good fit for our community, that's your ticket in. So go ahead and copy and paste that now.
Mm-hmm.
Beth says it's also so important to have the community holding us accountable. It really helps, doesn't it, Beth? Yeah, absolutely. It makes such a difference. Kara said, Casey and Donna-Marie, I just have to add that you both look gorgeous and adorable in your matching pink. Thank you.
Thank you.
This was a
It's not
complete
even Wednesday.
fluke. Yeah, it's a
On
complete
Wednesdays, we
fluke.
wear pink.
And we were laughing. Yes, wonderful. Lori says, I worked with Kendall last weekend and it was so great to meet another screener. She is so awesome. I love seeing all of your photos when you guys end up working together on different
Me
projects.
too.
So great. Kara says, I highly recommend Audition Plus. So great to have a clear practice
Oh,
schedule.
thank you.
I'm glad that you find that, Kara. Um, Richard says, perseverance, confidence, feel good about yourself, things will come. Yeah, it's important, right? It's important. And Kara says, I know that I won't give up or break. Yeah, we know you won't either, Kara.
No way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
These
Well,
are such nice things you're saying about this.
it is.
I
It's
am,
so
yeah,
kind. It's so
yeah.
kind.
And
Yeah,
right back at you. You know, we adore you.
absolutely. We adore each and every single one of you, and you mean the world to us. You really, really do.
I
So I,
like what Linda says here. My scene partner for Audition Plus lights a fire under my butt. This, they're going by fast. When I'm having a why bother moment. Yes, absolutely. I know who your scene partner is. You're very, very, the two of you are well suited and I'm sure you inspire him as much as he inspires you.
yeah,
It would
true.
be good too, just off the top of my head, Donna-Marie, I'm thinking like we should do something someday where we get everybody to switch up their partners.
Hmm.
Because everybody's, you know, people are working with people and you develop that trust, which is so, so important. But it might be cool to see what it's like to have somebody who's different.
Yeah, yeah, get a different perspective, right? A different
Yeah.
energy. Totally. Best, like Casey and Donna-Marie are such amazing coaches. Oh gosh,
Aw.
we do not pay them, I promise. They make time and have that personal investment. It's not just an online class. Well, that is lovely of you to say, Beth. And then Brian said acting swingers club. To
See? Wasn't
comment.
I right?
Yeah, I
The
love
funny
it.
ones.
I love it. So
Where do I put the car keys?
and Virginia says, I've probably read for about 12 people in Audition Plus. Yeah, I think it's so great, right? It really, really helps. It really does. Kara says accountability buddies are like gym buddies. You can kind of resent them in the moment for making you do the work, but you love them for helping keep you moving towards your goals. Absolutely, absolutely.
So true.
Richard says, I've been getting so many coaching offers on my Facebook page, but none match you and Donna Marie's perseverance, trust, and devotion. Thank you. Oh, Richard, that is so sweet. Thank you. You know what? It's our jam. It's absolutely what to do, or what to do, what we love to do.
Do you
So,
know that uh, Linda and her scene, Shapina, are you here? They live close to each other,
oh, I didn't
so they
realize.
can read together. That's so
Oh, that's so
cool.
wonderful. Like
I
actually
did
read in
not know
person.
that.
That doesn't happen very often. So isn't
Hi,
that?
Kara. Love to your grandma.
Yes. Enjoy your birthday with your grandma and happy birthday to your grandma, Kara. And then I think we'll probably have to say that's a wrap for
I
us. What
think
do
so.
you
Yeah.
think, Casey? Casey.
See?
Words some days. Wonderful. Well, I hope you all enjoyed today's class. Please remember, be the ruler in your own life, in your career. Bring that archetype to everything that you do. It will serve you so, so well. Okay.
Mhm.
Choose one specific goal that you can work towards, something concrete. Okay, wonderful actors. We will see you all next week. Have a wonderful Tuesday. That's a
That's
wrap.
a wrap for us.